when it comes to personal safety, Singapore routinely ranks in the global top 3 in surveys by Gallup. Violent crimes are rare, and penalties for drug trafficking and violent offenses are notoriously harsh. What about corruption? Every year, Transparency International ranks countries by perceived corruption. Singapore consistently lands in the global top 5, tied with countries like Denmark and Finland, and ahead of the US and UK. Its Corrupt Practices Investigation Bureau has the power to arrest anyone, including tycoons, officials, and even ministers.
Even a minister can get caught and charged? Of course. In Singapore, no one is above the law, no matter who you are. As long as you receive a benefit in return for a favor, you will kena.
Punishments are severe. Mandatory jail time, huge fines, and career destruction. This zero-tolerance policy on corruption has become a core national value. And for families, there's another big draw.
You know, guys, this is what we're talking about, especially now. What we need in Africa is for, African leaders to pay attention. You see, Singapore back in the 60s, it was a basket case. Singapore was poor as much as, Sierra Leone, as an example, was, or any other African country that had independence in the 60s. Singapore actually had independence in 1965, I think. Lee Kuan Yew, they had this plan and program in place. They knew exactly what they wanted, and that man is dead and gone today, but Singapore remains the most powerful country in the world. Billionaires are moving over to Singapore. African leaders don't know what to do. They keep corruption, as part of their modus operandi. Well, Singaporeans, they know this, so they've positioned themselves for the wealth of the world, for people to move over there. This is why people like myself, we're on social media, talking to African leaders. Position your countries for others to be able to come and do what they want to do and invest, and in turn improve the living standards of your people. African leaders don't have to do much. Just invest in infrastructure. Invest in your housing. Invest in making sure that corruption becomes, unthinkable. That is why Singapore is where it is today. And guys, African people, you have a responsibility. Put your tribe aside. Put your religion aside. You don't hear Singaporeans talking about Christian, Muslim, and this and that. But today, Singapore is one of the most prosperous countries. You hear that? Transparency